Dear Tasia, my name is Julie, and I am a 35-year-old single mother of two. I've been struggling in my dating life for what seems to be a while now. My dating intentions have mainly been for marriage. I've been on what seems to be all the dating apps, but to no avail. It never ends up going anywhere. And when I attend events to attract the type of men that I'm interested in, I always notice that they're with a date already. And also, when I go out, guys will stare, but they never approach me. And my friend always says, you have to look approachable and you have to let them know that it's okay to talk to you or say anything to you. But I would just feel like a total goofy just walking around smiling at everybody. So that would feel weird to me. Hence why I don't do that. But I think at this point, I feel very hopeless when it comes to my dating life. And I feel like the clock is ticking, and I want to be married or somewhere to that because I feel like I've fallen in a very love sick state throughout the years, especially with the intentions that I've been dating with, which is to be a wife. So, do you have any advice on that or anything that I could do to just do better and improve in that area?
So, it's so many things that I want to address here. Number one is when you are exhausted with dating, you will wear it on you. She sound exhausted.
Yes.
She sounds,
Exacerbated.
baby, she sound wore
Yes.
out.
Yes.
When you are exhausted with dating, you will wear it outside and it's coming out of your pores and men can smell it on you. I'm telling you, take a break and recalibrate. She said she was on all the apps. She's tried all the apps. That means you just out here flapping around. You on all the apps. You said you at these events. You're doing this. You're doing that. Sometimes it can be just exhausting to try all of these avenues at one time. I have done this before where I was on like Facebook dating and I was on Hinge and I would do like Bumble or BLK. And now I'm just like, try one. Just scale back, do one, whichever one you feel like you have the most luck on. That's just gonna minimize the stress. People don't understand, especially if you're, I always say this, neurodivergent, you have a little ADHD, you can't keep up, or you waiting for them hours when you get home late at night and then you just scrolling. It feels exhausting. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mental weight as well. So just, I would say, pick one of the apps. I also think that this is just my personal opinion, and I've learned this over the last few years, and this is has worked for me. I like to pick the man that I want. I am not waiting for the man to approach me. To me, that's a hyena in the wild, child. Like, you don't want the man that's out here walking up to you, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost like, what? You know what I'm saying? And I think that we've lived in this let the man pursue you culture, but I'm a handkerchief girl. Drop the handkerchief, let him pick it up, start the conversation. I have done this so many times and I have 100%. Okay,
Success rate.
100% success rate. You go up to them, you get in close enough proximity, and you start a conversation. You be simple math. You go to the bar, you stand next to him, and you like, is that bourbon or whiskey?
Yep.
Boom, you start a conversation. Oh, who's winning the game? What team do you have? Can you believe
Just open the door. Crack
just
it open.
all men want to see is that they have a green flag. A green flag to say something to you. I promise you, I have left with these men's number every single time. At the bar, this was just in Atlanta, at the bar. And I guess it was like the soup of the day. Guy sat next to me. And I'm like, what did he say the soup of the day was? I knew what the damn soup of the day was. I just heard of it. Left with that man up. Some just jujitsu doing man in Atlanta. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Had just came from a class or something like that. I think that women have to be a little bit more comfortable, kind of like, girl, pick the one. And I was just talking about this. When you don't pick the one that you want and you let the one come up to you and then you see his friends and you see his cousins and you realize you got the wrong one. And then now you can't talk to no other niggas in the club because one, the hyena then came and found you. Okay. And then they're talking to you. And then now you're closed off from not just all of his crew, because you don't know which one you really wanted, because he the one that had enough guts that day to come walk up to you. And now all the other men in the club are seeing you talk to him. So they don't know if you with him, if you off limits. It's a very weird space. And I think she should do more of the picking of the one that she wants.
I love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. The only thing I would add to that, I mean, because you be knocking it out the park, is that I feel like a lot of the women that I work with, there's this level of anxiety that's through the roof when it comes to the fear of never finding a partner or never being loved. And I want women to almost accept the thought, not the reality, accept the thought that I may never find a husband. And if you accept that, if you think about it and you accept it, then what? Right? So if you accept, like, I may never find a husband. Okay, so what does that mean for your life, right? Does that mean that your life is not worth living? Does that mean that you don't pursue all the things that make you happy? Almost accepting that thought removes a weight off of you that helps also remove that anxiety that hangs over your head. Like you said, like that exhaustion, that thing that men can sense, that desperation that they can sense, it stems from the thought of, I'm running out of time. I'm never going to find him. Like, this is my last shot. This person is the last person that's ever potentially going to love me. Right. And so part of me is just like, if you first accept that thought, then you can move throughout the world knowing that being with someone or not being with someone is not a make or break situation for you. And you can really focus on finding someone that's going to add to your life in a really substantial and meaningful way, and avoid picking the wrong person out of desperation, right? And you can make those interactions more fun and less stressful. And so that's the only thing I would add to that. I think, I'm a handkerchief girly too. And I think about that more along the lines of, do women have the skills that they need to open the door for men to talk to them? And I think a lot of men don't have those. And so the tips that you just gave are fantastic. I'm going to use that.
A lot of them are just like you said. And I'm like, y'all ain't got no game.
None.
Like, y'all ain't got no game. I mean, and I think it's also just, as I said, just this whole, like, let the men pursue you, let the men, come up to you. And like, girl, everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting. When people are like, well, I am going to you said to go to the events, to go to the lounge, to go to Trader Joe's, to go to, and I said, Depot. What did you do when you got there?
Yeah.
You was standing on the wall in the corner with your friend on your phone. What did you do when you get there?
Nothing, you was there looking pretty and thought that was enough.
And I'm like, you didn't got your hair done. You didn't put on all this makeup. You didn't spray 10 sprays of this expensive fragrance. You got your shoes on. You waited in line. You paid for valet. You all of this stuff. You gonna get in and you went, so what did Zell say? I'm leaving here with something.
I don't know.
I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something.
Yes.
You did all of that and you got to the club. You ain't leave with nothing. Girl.
And it's like, we don't have that muscle flexed to be able to, one, withstand what we perceive to be rejection, but a lot of times is not rejection at all. Like, you don't know this man from Toucan Sam, so he could be in a relationship, he could be married, he could be gay, there could be a million reasons why you don't walk away with a phone number that have nothing to do with your beauty, your worth, or like the way that you present yourself or anything like that. But because we don't have the ability to put ourselves out there and to potentially face rejection, we prevent ourselves from kind of shooting those shots, even though you're not like objectively shooting a shot like that. Like, you're not being abrasive with the way that you're doing it, like with what you're recommending. That's like subtle, right? That's the art of flirting. That's the art of kind of opening the door, like that femininity that I think a lot of women need to kind of figure out how to flex. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't have that capability. And so, listen to some of these tips.
Rejection is a big
it
thing.
is. But men don't have to face it anymore. So we want the men to come up to us the way that, we lived in a generation where we could go out and you could leave with 6, 7 numbers from the club. Men today, they have the internet, they have IG, they have dating apps, they have all the same things that we have access to. So when they're out, they don't necessarily have to endure rejection in person. And I'm sure if you're thinking psychologically, they prefer not to, right?
Yes,
so you can't necessarily blame them for it being a culture of like, well, men don't approach anymore. Well, some women are really mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when they do try to approach. So you can't necessarily blame them for taking that off the table and just talking to women that talk to them back, right, through whatever platforms that they're using.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And it's really not easy. A lot of men talk about that, how difficult it is to to have to go up to the woman or constantly face that rejection. And I think that I wish it was just like more of a happy medium, because I think they're getting a little too comfortable now, where it's just like, okay, you have to do some of the work. And I always say, like, if I give you the alley hoop and you miss the basket, that's on you. That's
What's
on you.
your rejection strategy though? Like if a guy comes up to you and like tries to chat you up and you're not interested, how do you recommend women kind of letting men down without being bitches about it?
I think it depends on like what he proposes.
approach?
Yeah, what's his approach? You know, is it, if it's like, you know, hey, like, you know, I would love to get to know you, or, you know, would you like to exchange numbers? And I would literally just say, you know, I'm not really interested at this moment. You know, and I feel like that's like light. It's not too, you know, and I think at that time, I'm really just going off of what I see and what we have discussed, or maybe things that I have, you know, observed. But I am not the like, one thing about me, I'm not telling you I got a boyfriend and I don't to get you away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like us being more honest in the rejection builds like agility up, you know, for men. So I'm just like, you know, no, I'm not interested at this time. Yeah.
Love that.
What do you say?
Um,
What you telling them?
I think it's right. Like you're right. It depends on the approach. So sometimes I would say I'm in a relationship. I'm taken. I'm so sorry. It depends on how aggressive or like how the approach is. Other times, like you said, I just may be like, oh, you know, thank you. That's so kind. Or I'll say, you know what, you can give me your number. So I'm if I was interested in you, I would never take your number. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
so I'm like, oh,
right.
you know, you can give me your number. And so they'll give me their number. It'll kind of diffuse the situation and then they can kind of go on and I'm not going to contact
Do you
them.
get the where your ring at? Okay, or you can you have a friend?
Look,
Are you in a?
I went out with a girlfriend a couple of weeks ago and guys were kind of approaching or whatever. And I was like, I'm in a relationship. I'm in a relationship or whatever. And they're like, so they're like, he's not your husband. Are you married? You're gonna let your boyfriend prevent you from finding your husband?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, is this just a common thing
too
now?
many podcasts out
I'm
here.
like,
Too many
this is
podcast
just-
men. That's what they get that from.
It's very. I was like, literally 3-4 different guys with that same response, and I'm like, is this just the thing now that to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anywho, girl, I think the last thing is that the first thing that she wrote actually was, she's a 35 single mom, 35-year-old single mom. And I am getting these questions every single day about the moms that are struggling, the moms that feel like it's hard to date because they have kids. And I just feel like I don't quite think that is a reality, because the ones with no kids are also single. So it's not like we have this like crazy advantage. And really at our age, most of these men have kids. So I just haven't really seen a lot of men that have children, because that would be the majority at 35 years old, that have children, to be like, I'm not dating women with any kids. Now I have heard men say, like, even though I have kids, I don't know if I want to take care of someone else's kids, because I would want to have more of a dominant role in the household. And so that kind of gets a little mixy. But it's and I date for social data. So I'm like, I'm not really seeing this be true. To me, it's almost like something that is in their head, because I don't meet a lot of men that are like, I don't do women with kids. If they already have children.
Kids, yeah,
right.
agreed.
So I'm almost like, find these niggas that got kids. There's plenty of them out.
And
It's
here. Very difficult to be a woman with a kid, but then have the standard of you don't want to date someone with kids, because I think that sometimes that's a issue as well. But a lot of the guys, just from, you know, our community within Carpe Diem, if they are at an age where in their late 30s to early 40s and they don't already have kids, they are aggressively looking for a wife because they want to have kids, and they do not want to date a woman that has kids. And they're typically not even trying to date women around their age. They're typically trying to date 7 to 10 years younger than them. But the gentlemen that are older, maybe they've been married, maybe they, like you said, they already have kids, usually are very open to dating a woman with kids.
Find someone in your age group a little bit older. Even the younger guys, I think that they're even more flexible on women that have children already, because the women that are their age are outside.
Right.
If she 35, you find a 30-year-old, the women that would be normally in his line is like 25, 26. They outside. They in the club.
It also
Having a good
depends on the
time.
age of the kids for a lot of the guys. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
determining factor for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say to her to get outside, pick the one that you want, and recalibrate if you feel exhausted. You do not want to date out of depression, a deficit, and dehydration, okay? Because that means any drop of water that you see, okay, is gonna have you over the moon. So I just would say recalibrate, take a break, because girl, you sounded exhausted.
She
Friend,
did
you
sound
sounded
exacerbated.
You
Poor
mentioned
thing.
it quickly, but I think you should go over like the places to go to find like men.
Oh, I am team. You can find a man anywhere. Anywhere. I think that is like one of the biggest scams. And you see a lot of these coaches and people online, these feminine coaches, like if you want a high earner, go to the Smith's bar at 5 p.m. because that's where the businessmen are taking their lunches. And so, and it's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Girl, you can find a man anywhere. I would say, whatever you do, look good, do good. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all tried to ban Monique when the comedian Monique when she was telling y'all about them bonnets and them furry slippers in the club in the damn airport, okay? And y'all tried to say that she was spot on. Action auntie and action grandma. Back in the day, your auntie, they ain't go nowhere without a curler in their head and a mascara on their eye, okay? They always had themselves. I don't know where us black women in general have lost it, but we got to get back, okay? We got to get back. Stop walking in these airport with these jogging pants and these hoodies on, these bonnets on y'all heads, and these damn furry slippers. I wish we can burn them. I hate them, okay? I hate them. And this is surpassing this whole like, stop policing black women's bodies. Comb your damn hair.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Comb your hair. I've heard it too much where we've gotten into this culture where it's like, it used to be, well, black people come from Africa. That's why we're flashy. That's why we love to dress. And then I think we just got exhausted and just washed up. And then now nobody started doing. And now we're back trying to come. Y'all, please look halfway decent. How you dress is how you will be addressed, okay? And it's not anything crazy. I know so many men that love a messy bun, love a no makeup look, but when you look better, you feel better and you attract better energy. Y'all, please stop wearing these jogging pants and bonnets and furry slides in the airport. I cannot take it anymore. Like we used to
Step out.
we used to step
out. Yeah.
We used to step. I even started doing better. Okay.
Look.
I even started doing better. Look, now I'm in the MX lounge. You know they got put one at DCA.
Yes.
Yeah, look, and I be in there. Okay, looking real cute. You can get you a cute.
It's right on the corner. You just go over there in the afternoon. You even got a flight. You know,
exactly.
You buy a ticket. You know, return it later. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was just me. I'm with you when you right. Yeah, you could just slide up in there anyways. But where to find men? Anywhere. I think it's about being approachable.
Yeah.
I think it's also about openness, like where you are in your life. Like when I became a happier person, the men were falling out of the trees. And also when I felt good about myself, like when I have my outfit on, and these ain't even things that's like tight or whatever. I'm talking about, I just felt like in my like urban street swag.
You feel good. You feel cute.
I felt
put together.
Put together 5-7 numbers a day. Okay. So I think you can find them anywhere. But I think it's about what you do when you get in this space. If you cooped up in the corner, if you on your phone, if you haven't looked up not one time, you're not making any eye contact.
The phone is not reality, and it's killing the in-person ability to make a connection.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
You're not approachable because you're in your phone. Even when you go out to the bar and take the advice of getting a little cocktail, a little appy by yourself, you know, and like trying to look cute, but then you're still stuck on your phone, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have the ability to be uncomfortable and like devoid of distractions, you know, to kind of open ourselves up that way. And unfortunately it's to our detriment. My girlfriend, she just shared with me that she met this fantastic guy at the gas station. She was out pumping gas and she was going to pump her gas in the rain. And he was like, "Oh, are you about to pump your gas?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I was." He was like, "I'll pump it for you." And so he was like, "Get in the car. I'm going to pump it. You don't have to sit out in the rain or whatever." So she's in the car talking to him from the inside of the car.
No, that's
and
right.
they're just chit chatting. And he was filling the gas tanks underneath the underneath the gas station, and they just get to talk, and he owns the company that runs these trucks that fill the, so she was on her 4th trip in 2 months.
I know that's right.
Look, she's on her 4th trip in 2 months
right.
because she just was nice, and you know what I'm saying,
Nice.
like open to, if the guy said, "Oh, I can pump," you don't need to, I can do it myself. I can pump my own.
Yeah.
Now that would have been the outcome, right? Or to think, "Oh, this man working at the gas station," you know what I'm saying, like not to, needless to say, he the owner. He the owner. He just working today because somebody else was off or whatever, and he's filling in for somebody's shift. Yeah. So I think
open to the conversation.
But that goes to that. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. And what I will say is that although I don't feel like there's a particular place to find men, like, oh, you have to go here, go there. What I will say is some of the most underrated places, y'all, please go to the kickback, go to the baby shower, go to the game night, go to the Super Bowl. Even these kids' birthday parties, there are men there. If you have a 2-year-old, the uncles are coming, the cousins, the family members. I love to third wheel a family event. I'm coming to the family reunion, the cookouts, the everything. Like, those are some of the most underrated, because it already feels like it's a family and the inner circle. So I feel like it's more of a lax environment to actually find and connect with people, right? It's like, oh, we playing spades, or you know, you want to get a drink, let's go outside, and it's just like casual, and everybody's like having a good time, and somebody in there is connected to somebody else some way, somehow. I love a good like game night, kickback, Super Bowl fight party. You just want to watch it. Even like, you know, Brie and I will watch like The Bachelorette or something like these like watch parties is such a good way to actually like connect with people.
You got to be out.
You got to be out.
I will just add one small thing. If you are going to be on dating apps, and like you said, I love your idea of just picking one and kind of like investing in the one that you think is going to give you the best return. Y'all pay for the app. Like, people do not want to pay for the app and
the premium version.
You just commit to paying for 3 months.
Yeah.
Right. And just see the difference in the quality of the matches that you're going to get, and the intentionality of the people that you're going to be matched with, and your ability to kind of filter. Like, you want to use the premium version of whatever you're using, because it's going to give you access to the most intentional people, and it's going to give you access to the best quality people. They're putting the best ones behind the paywall, y'all.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're putting it behind the roses, behind whatever else it is that you're doing. So just consider, you know, also making that small investment in order to kind of see how that changes around your outcomes on your dating apps.
Yes.